The mics, both of them. Who's that?
Yeah.
Let me know how. One, two, one, two, one, two. My name is Dillian, founder of Creative Nestlings. Today on the couch. What are we calling this series anyway? We need a name for the series, you know? I don't know.
Is this the first episode?
This is like the second episode.
Okay.
We don't have a name for the series. Yeah, I guess conversation, creativity on the couch. Yeah, on the couch with Jamal from Bubblegum Club. You probably all know him. He's like a legend in the creative industry. You know, fashion, publishing, you know, art, all that kind of stuff. But he'll talk about himself. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a conversation. So
Cool.
you can ask me questions if you have questions. Also, I'm not good at interviews. So just want to talk about your work. What inspired you to do all this stuff, and when did it all begin? You know.
Sure. That's what inspires me, man. It's difficult. It's difficult to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
quantify.
like maybe like more of a direct. You know, I feel like it's not direct enough. It's like I mean, a lot of things inspire me. You know,
Yeah.
so. And I've been involved in a lot of different
projects and stuff.
Exactly. So and also in a lot of different like creative spaces.
Yeah.
And mediums as well. You know, so it's not one specific area. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm inspired by something. When I'm creating, or something inspired me to like get into fashion, whereas something completely different inspired me to get into publishing. Let's say. So yeah, I've got my interests are broad. I would say.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in people, you know.
Yeah.
I'm interested in people. I'm interested in culture. I'm interested in subculture.
Yeah.
That's one thing that like crosses over. I'm interested in popular culture as well. Things which are accessible, and things which, as I think South Africans, we have a history of doing. From like fashion and music, especially. And dance, those type of cultures. I guess, yeah. So
that's really amazing. In terms of like, for example, when did it all start? Like, do you remember when like, okay, this is my first project as Jamal in the creative culture? What was that?
Sure. I would say in university.
Yeah.
I would say in university. So I first studied law at UCT.
Okay.
I dropped out, and then I went back to Durban, and that's when I started studying fashion. And I think it's from that point, because that's when I guess I made a decision for myself. The law was maybe something, that I could have been good at.
Yeah.
Because, I was good at like the subjects that are required to be a lawyer, but it's not something maybe specifically that I chose for myself.
Yeah.
And fashion, I was like, I want to do this thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when I started studying fashion, I would say, that's when I really started to initiate stuff. Because in my first year of fashion, I started a label.
Yeah.
The label was called Cult.
Okay.
And I worked on the label with Usanele Xolo from Boys and Bucks, and Usanele now is his name. In which
in the music, yeah.
Exactly. So I started working with him. He did like the designs. He was studying at Vega at the time.
Yeah.
And I knew him from high school. We went to the same high school. So I started collaborating with him. He did these prints. I did these tees. I mean, I also made other products as well. I mean, I remember doing my first fashion show in 2000. This was my first year in fashion school. So this was 2004.
Yeah.
And there was a fashion show on the beach.
Okay.
And I did that fashion show. I made a small collection for that, about 4 or 5 looks.
Yeah.
And then I also did, there was a high school in Durban called Danville Girls High. And I showed that same collection at their high school fashion show.
Okay.
So I guess that's when I really, started.
Got into it, yeah. Okay, that's amazing. I mean, over the years, you're very well known in the fashion industry and stuff, now in the publishing industry and stuff. What happened to the brand that you're known for, and what made you move this side to publishing and stuff?
So I've been publishing. I have been involved in publishing as well. I mean, and also I guess how I got into publishing, even though I wasn't specifically publishing at the time, was through my work in fashion.
Yeah.
So during fashion school, I was making product, but I was also interested in creating an image.
Yeah.
So that's styling. So I started to work with friends. We had this project called the Sunday Workshop,
Okay.
and we used to link up on Sundays, and we used to creative direct shoots.
Okay.
And each week, one of the different stylists would create a brief, and
Yeah.
then we would all respond to the brief and make 1 or 2 or 3 looks.
Yeah.
We worked with Justin McGee.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a photographer. He was based in Joburg for a while, and now he's based in Durban. But he's obviously from Durban, so we collaborated with him. Myself, Dino, and Ravi
Okay.
is also part of CUSS. So we worked together in this thing, Sunday Workshop, and I started styling, and I guess that content
Yeah.
was content that would live on an online platform or in a magazine.
Okay. Which?
So at the time, we were publishing. So Justin started this platform called The Beard,
Okay.
and then we were involved in the fashion side of
Okay.
that. So this was, a magazine which was an online magazine,
Yeah.
and this was in 2005 and 2006. So it was quite early in just in
Yeah.
terms of like internet and publishing, especially in South Africa. I guess that's when I really started to get involved in maybe writing a bit and also creating visuals.
Yeah. Okay. And then in terms of what was the brand? Your main brand? What is it called again?
Missshape.
Missshape.
Yeah.
No, I mean that was amazing. I remember you did some collaborations with that with a lot of people like here in Johannesburg and well received and stuff. But financially, how did it do? That's what was my question. How was it doing? Were you making enough money to continue sustain yourself and the brand?
I was making
Yeah.
money, but not enough.
Okay.
And I guess that's the reason, why I'm not doing the label at the moment. I see the money that I spent with the label as an investment.
Okay.
And I say investment because, for me, running the label for, I think I did it for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
It was a learning curve.
Okay.
So in terms of, creating a label, selling clothing, which is a big part of what a label
Yeah.
is about, if you want to sustain it.
Yeah.
That, when I think about it now, the education that I got in fashion, of course, that allowed me to create, this product, etc. And that people were interested in, and people, found, was very valuable.
Yeah.
But selling clothing is a completely different thing. And I think, the 4 years of pushing the label, I've really learned how to sell clothing.
Yeah.
And I guess it came at these, I guess the culmination of these things that I've learned, they came at a time when I had already initiated Bubblegum Club, because I kind of started Bubblegum Club in 2000 and it was registered in 2014, but we really started operating in 2015.
Yeah.
And of course, Missshape and MS3 were still very active at the time. And this is when I was starting to initiate the new business model for the fashion side of things. But then things really started to take off on the publishing side.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's really taking off now. Let me focus on that. Let me see that through, because I think it will provide a very good base of which I can work off for the rest of my life. So I was like, let me do that, and then come back to the fashion thing with what I've learned. I don't think it's ever too late, and I definitely will go back to creating clothing for sure.
Soon.
It depends on Bubblegum Club. It depends on how quickly things become very stable.
Yeah.
And then when Bubblegum Club needs me less, that's when I can look at getting involved in another project.
Okay.
But for now, all my attention is
Bubblegum Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me about Bubblegum Club. Firstly, what is the vision? What is the vision for it? And then also, what is the business model around that? Yeah, and how does it make money? Because I mean, everyone has got a website out there with content and magazines, blogs, all that stuff, Instagram, Tumblr. But yours seems to be for me, I treat it as a magazine. I treat it as I would treat a print magazine, right? So how does it all work, and how does it survive, and what is the vision for it also? Yeah.
So, sorry. What was, because it feels like you asked a lot of questions. I don't know where to start with that.
What is the vision, and also what is the business model around it?
The vision, so I guess, Bubblegum Club actually started as a cultural intelligence agency.
Okay.
So we were doing research youth culture research, youth culture research, sorry, and just providing insight and understanding for brands that we were working with on, the youth market essentially. So that was like the starting point, and I think when we started to, or during that process of researching and finding out about young creatives, etc., what do they need, we really felt that there was a gap for a platform which would celebrate practitioners maybe outside of people operating in the realms this sort of space where, or basically people who were not getting an opportunity to be published. That we felt there was a lot of people making amazing work, but for various reasons they weren't being celebrated. So that was a big part of starting Bubblegum Club. It was about really seeing, can we look outside of what's popping now and look for, maybe people who are not amazing at marketing themselves, but have an amazing product. And then we provide a platform for these people and put these people on. And sometimes it's people maybe who, again, are amazing, making amazing work, but are not able to frame their practice. And I guess maybe a love for that type of thing is that even as ourselves, we've been making stuff for many years, but people struggle to pin us down. So in a way we were celebrating, I guess, people like ourselves.
That's really interesting. So how does it all work? How do you guys? So you talk about what it's about and everything, but how does it work? And that's your main thing, right? So how do you make money out of it, since it's your main thing?
So I guess content campaigns.
Okay. So is there editorial content on there?
Yes, there has been some of that content.
So that's interesting because I never really recognized that. I mean, there's an ad in that.
I guess that's the point, to embed, brand stories
in there.
Exactly.
That's an amazing way of doing it. Yeah, I love editorials. Yeah, as you can see the brand there. Yeah.
Totally. So there's that. We still, of course, do the trends.
The research part and everything.
Exactly. So the youth culture insights. That's also, a big part of our business. What else? Strategy. It depends. We offer, and as I said, that's why it is still the beginning, of, us as a business. Yeah. We're definitely still working towards finding, a very focused, path in terms of the services that we do offer. But definitely the things, and the picture's starting to emerge now. So, and why it would be content campaigns is because of creating content.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that we do really well. And people recognize that we do that really well.
Yeah.
So we definitely are focusing on creation of content.
Content and stuff.
So, that's, a text, copy, to curation, to photography and video as well. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, offline, me and you were talking about this in terms of the physical activation of Bubblegum Club. Things like we talked a while back when we were doing my cover about the print, because it looks. I was even thinking of printing my cover and framing it and having you sign it. Having you and Brian sign it, because it looks like a magazine. It's even the way you push it out looks like a magazine. The shoots and all stuff, the styling. That's the first time second time I wore makeup ever for a shoot. It's like, oh damn, okay, there's work here. It's not like any other online, publication out there. What is the vision for that? Is that going to be talks or magazine, print magazine or newspaper? What is it?
Yeah, this is something we did discuss, I guess, when we started, especially specifically when we started the online platform. But I guess that conversation has been not shelved, but it's just been put aside for now.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because we're very much focused on the creation of the content and it being published online. So it's really just focusing in on bubblegumclub.co.za and what's happening on there. Of course, us being creative people, to be able to create a physical version of Bubblegum Club is definitely a dream, and something that we have spoken about a lot of times and we do want to do. But at the moment, I guess, yeah, we're just finding value in, and I guess this comes with like a lot of like, or I mean, I wouldn't say like a lot of wisdom, but just wisdom, which comes from, being in, the industry for a long time now. I mean, this is not the first publishing project.
Yeah.
There was CUSS, which
CUSS
started
was
out
amazing.
as a, thank you, as an online magazine. And I think Bubblegum Club can be what it is because of CUSS.
Yeah.
All the things that we learned while doing CUSS have now been taken and incorporated into Bubblegum Club. And that's why, you could have gone to Bubblegum Club in the first week since we started publishing, but you can see these are people who didn't start this thing yesterday.
Yeah.
So coming back to this whole
physical
wisdom thing, it's like we're seeing value in just like specializing, and at the moment,
so finding a focus.
Exactly. At the moment, the focus is on creating amazing content to be housed on our online platform.
Okay.
And of course, opportunities do arise for these other things. And I think when opportunities, although I'm saying to you now, like this is what we're focusing on, something could happen, like, next week, and we could have a print issue coming out 2 months down the line. Because it's something that we've spoken about, and in fact it's something that we have done, not in Bubblegum Club's capacity, but CUSS.
Okay.
So it's something, it's an exercise that we've been involved in, and it can happen like this.
It's like
you know what I mean?
Just the right elements, it's starting to align basically.
Exactly.
No, that's amazing. I mean, you're based in Johannesburg, right? You're from Durban, right?
Yeah.
For me, Joburg, it's the first time staying in Johannesburg as a creative and as just a person generally. It's very interesting. So, what is it really like for you to be like a creative in Johannesburg? What is it like?
It's cool. I mean, for me, it's like my home now.
Yeah.
I love Joburg. I remember like the third day arrived. I mean, I'd been here for 3 days, and I linked up with Sanele, and he took me to the hype. It was SA Hip Hop Awards, and it was at Gold Reef City.
Yeah.
And I went there and I just saw like all these other kids, especially like amazing like young black kids. And I was like, whoa, like I hadn't seen something like that on that level in South Africa. And of course I'd been to Joburg, like, on holiday and whatever, and for the fashion weeks and stuff. But just to see, on a day-to-day basis, how young black people were living and expressing themselves, I was just like, this is the place for me. It makes perfect sense for me to be here. And it still makes as much sense, and that's why I'm here.
In terms of the Johannesburg creative culture and stuff, who are some of the people that you really, really, really love working with and stuff, and that everyone should know about by now and stuff?
I guess in terms of collaborations, it's been, I wouldn't say like a completely like closed circle, but definitely I do tend to like work with people who I have some sort of rapport with.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time you'll find, in all the projects that I've been involved in, from the art stuff to the fashion stuff, to the publishing and content production side, it's been with people that I've been working with, for a very long time. Like primarily, of course, there's some, intersections there, but definitely it's been like, with people who I have this relationship with and I have worked with, for a long time. So it's like, the likes of Lex Trickett, who I co-founded Bubblegum Club with, Ravi from CUSS Group, who else have I worked very closely with? Zamani, who's obviously part of Dirty Paraffin and is producing under The Good Doctor. So Zamani was very, very involved in Missshape and MS3. Okay. He's part of CUSS as well, obviously not on Bubblegum Club side, but so it's these people that have been around me for
your circle and stuff,
and then of course other people who we've met along the way. On the CUSS side of things, we've collaborated with Bohosi Sekukuni. We collaborated with Justin McGee, who's also from Durban. We've also collaborated with, more recently, because obviously CUSS is still operating as an artist group. We've collaborated with people, I guess, operating outside of, the scene, the sort of like Braamfontein, or, it's people maybe who have less access to this space. So we're working with like an amazing lady she's actually from Uganda, but she's based in downtown. She's a really dope video editor, so we're doing some stuff with her. Vugani Ndebele. We've got a film coming out with him quite soon. I think like in a week or two. So these are people who are, I guess, people wouldn't really know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it could be interesting to check those people out, especially Vugani. We made a sort of like short docu on him.
Yeah.
And it's on Bubblegum Club. So if you just Google Inanda Wood, you'll be able to check out that film.
That's really amazing. I mean, because I love the city. You know, the city is full of like creatives and stuff. For me, I told you all this. Like, I honestly feel like this city needs to be well documented. And you're already doing that. I mean, that's why we're trying to launch a newspaper called Creative Joburg, because we've seen that there's so much here. There's architecture. It's a city you really want to live in as a creative, because you can produce and stuff, and so it's really amazing and stuff. And I'm also meeting a lot of Durban creatives. It's just strange. It's like, so the question is always like, so for me it's like, what's not in Durban that's here? That's a big question, I think.
It's the industry.
It's
the industry, which is a good thing because it allows you to develop an authentic identity.
Yeah.
You know, you can be like, 19, 20, 21 in Durban, making your music, being on the scene, doing your thing.
Yeah.
And there's no brand trying to jump on you. And there's no like horizon.
Yeah.
The horizon is not like, oh, I'm doing this so that I can be, featured by this thing, or so that I can be signed by this brand, etc., etc. You're just purely expressing yourself, and I think that's kind of what makes it different. So that's good. But then when you've developed this identity and you now, are ready to, I guess, like, create a career out of it, it becomes very difficult in Durban to do that. So
you gotta come to Joburg.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the reason why we're here. We're coming to dig that gold. Yeah.
City of gold. No, cool. I think that's about it from my side. I don't know if you have any questions or anything like that, or comments or mentions, something like that. But they can find you on Bubblegum Club, right?
Bubblegumclub.co.za. On our Instagram, Bubblegum Club with 3 B's, Twitter, YouTube channel. I guess look out for that. We're going to be dropping more content on there quite soon. Yeah, and check out CUSS Group as well.
I was asking, who else is in CUSS Group?
So CUSS Group is myself, Ravi Govender, Lex Trickett, and Zamani Klolo. Yeah.
And it still operates as artist collective still, right? So we can still expect more work from you guys.
Definitely. So as I said, there's a film, that collaboration with Vugani Ndebele, that's going to be released on Contemporary And, which is a website based in Germany.
Yeah.
Like an art and culture website, and we've got a show in Geneva in March. Yeah, that's it for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question is, what do you call yourself? Are you an artist, or are you a creator, a publisher, or is it just an artist?
I've called myself, different things at different times. So if I'm chatting to you, I'm going to say, I don't know, I'm a publisher, or I don't know. It depends, but
it depends on the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's publishing. Yeah, it's just it's difficult. I've called myself an entrepreneur, cultural entrepreneur. I don't know. I don't think labels are important.
Okay.
And I mean, this is again the reason why it becomes hard to pin
down everything.
Exactly. And it makes people who want to frame us and monetize us difficult to pin us down because
Okay.
But I'm okay with just
being yourself.
And doing my thing.
No, that's amazing. I mean, that's what I go through. Also, people try and pin me down. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not a business person. It's like this guy from Germany. He said, okay, I think the best label for you is a social sculptor. I like that one because all it is about people. So I know how to bring people together, to create spaces for them and create an empty canvas for them to create and continue themselves. That's all I do with every project I'm involved in. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I think amazing. I need someone to find me a name.
Yeah, I think it's also when someone else finds your name. Yeah. Yeah, but no, thank you very much.
Cool, man. Thank you.
And good luck with everything, of course. We'll, of course, collaborate hopefully in the future. Try and get you to do those talks and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Cool.